Hey, what's up? This is your boy Dino, aka Guerrilla Graphics, coming to you live from the crib. We've been blessed to work with a lot of just independent people around the world as well. From Russia to Kampala, Uganda to act in London. Just great opportunities. But it's a gift, and we recognize the gift. And we just want to share with you a little bit about our lives. Yeah, my inspiration for design now came from as a kid being a video game junkie, and I would always look at the box art of video games, and it was kind of ironic because I never dreamed of being someone that would design something like that. But that's why I studied that, and I would always buy Captain Crunch because I liked the swag and the look of the box, you know, with him in the hat and all the characters. Burger King, you know, just everything that you would see in these ads artistically were things that inspired me. I guess for me, the digital world, you don't see it until you get there. You know, it was one of those things where drawing was just what I did. I would take markers, before I started airbrushing, I would take markers and draw on pants and jackets, and I was pretty good at that. And I made a little money, you know, as a young lad, drawing on clothes and things like that. But as society changed, I changed. Every time society did something, I kind of moved with it. I went with technology, I went with swag, dress code, cosmetics, whatever it was, I went with it. And so coming from the pencil to the pen, to watercolor pencil, to airbrush, that was my that was my beginnings. That really is what paved the way to where we are right now, because it allowed us to understand color, perspective, all those things from I guess a hands-on position. Once we came into the digital world, we just had to learn the digital tools because we'd acquired the information and the knowledge to develop the formula of digital design. And so now with digital, we use the Wacom Cintiq instead of paper, because the Wacom Cintiq allows us to draw on screen as we would back then on paper or canvas or whatever the case may be. My passion, I went through these different phases in life where one minute it was my music, next minute it was my artwork, and then it was my martial arts. So I became well-rounded as far as the arts are concerned, but as far as martial arts are concerned, I started off when I was 17 with a system called Shinigami Karate. The Shinigami system was built around an association called Midoriyama Budokai, which means Green Mountain Peace, and my great grandmaster is Leo Wilson. And so I trained with that system for about 7 years, and I got my my knee done, I think when I was 22, 23, somewhere around there. And then I left that system and I went into the Chung Pak Do Association, which is another form of Taekwondo, and I trained under Master Chung Soo Kim. Then after that, I went into the Chinese martial arts because I wanted something that dealt with internal. I needed the peace, you know, to be able to calm down and really get mental direction about the arts as a whole. And so I went into Choli Foot, which means fist on a rope. And so with Choli Foot opened up a lot of doors to walk into, such as 7-Star Praying Mantis, Hungar, Wing Chun, you know, just a lot of different systems that were internal systems that allowed you to help you to stay focused and to channel. When you use the word martial and then you use the word arts, matter of fact, they started calling us martial scientists, because the idea behind martial arts is learning the science behind it. It's just like practical movement, or what they call qigong. If I did something like this and then I did something like this, it's two movements that took 2 seconds too long. The science behind it is it works, but it still took too long. The logic behind it is I could have just went 1 versus 1, 2. So the logic behind movement just made more sense when studying internal, external, because now you understand that wasted movement is just what it is, wasted movement. Even though it's movement, it's wasted. So practical movement was what I was looking for, and how it influenced my artwork was one of those things where I don't want to take 24 hours to design something for a client when I can do it in 35 minutes. So we allowed that to become a part of our formula. to not go 1, 2 anymore. We just went 1. And when we started going 1, they started getting their work back the same day. So now we can charge them for giving that high quality, high performance design work with a quick turnaround time. So martial arts really played a big role in just the mentality of the approach to design. We have to understand where technology has us at this point. We've grown over the years, of course, from having little bag phones to 2 and 3 inch cell phones and things like that. So we have to understand where technology is. So it's very important as it pertains to design in technology. Somebody has to design that stuff. Mathematically, you got to understand schematics. Mathematically, you got to understand numbers. Technology-wise, someone may put it together as far as the mathematics of the formula that creates that product. But then somebody's got to be able to create that product. Someone's got to be able to visually create it, and then someone's got to be able to mold it. There's a lot of software that we've tried to use, but in the end we became Adobe heads. Photoshop became our baby. We started with Photoshop about 5 or 6 years ago. Wasn't that great at it initially. And we studied some of the great ones around the country that we just love their work. Calvin Hollywood from Germany, Scott Kelby, who's the big Photoshop guy, does all the really cool Photoshop books and things like that. And I started studying how they were doing Photoshop. And I said to myself, well, if Scott Kelby can write such a great book on a software that helps you to design, why can't I? And so what I did was I took that same approach and I said, instead of doing a book, I'll do my own DVDs, my own instructional DVDs. And that's what we ended up doing. We ended up just creating our own stuff. Like Hip Hop Photoshop was one that we did. This was from the Mixtape Madness series. Dawn of War, which is another one that we did. And we have about 11 of them that we did. And the idea behind it was you have to turn your talent into a product. And so instead of just selling a service, now they want to buy information. And this was our way of selling them information on how to do what we do. So Photoshop became a tool that led us into creating our own products. And if people want to reach me or us here at the studio, check this out. Our number is 917-717-8927. If you want to reach us by email, our email address is Guerrilla, which is GUERILLA, GFX@gmail.com. Another one would be anointed_hands, the number 3 @yahoo.com. And just ask for me, Dino, who's the lead designer of GGFX Design Studios.